It's your boy Lico J here with RoarTV, and we also have our SGA team here too, guys. So look, this show is gonna be very interesting. We're gonna go ahead and ask them a lot of questions about homecoming, a lot of things coming up in the Stillmanite area. So y'all stay tuned to what we got going on for this episode. It's gonna be something. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? RoarTV welcomes you guys. My name is Lico J.
It's your boy Kimo. What's good?
Alright, y'all go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Rose Bryant. I am the 86th SGA president here at Stillman College.
I'm Bryce Gover. I'm the director of student relations.
And I am Shamaya Money, the 71st from Stillman College, 2018-2019.
Alright. So guys, y'all see we are blessed with a great group of people here. It is Black History Month. This is one reason that we also want to do this video, to go ahead and get us intertwined with our community as well, with the young people. One thing I do realize here at Stillman, so a lot of people love to brush other people off. We ain't with that. We kind of like want to join forces with everybody. It's an HBCU. Everything's supposed to be unity. One thing I can realize, one thing I can say, Stillman does have is pride. Like, you know, the school does have a good pride system. They do love to participate in a lot of games, a lot of things that go on here at Stillman. But we just want to go ahead and get our feet wet with the SGA team, see what they think about Stillman. You know, RoarTV can talk all we talk, but we want to see how they feel. Why did they choose what they chose to do for Stillman? So let's get into it. Quinn, I heard you got a couple questions for them.
Yes, we'll start with you first, Rose. And really just like introduce yourself, like what made you run for SGA president?
Okay. Well, I am a graduate senior. What made me run for SGA president, I didn't intend on at first, but as it got closer to my senior year and things happened here in Stillman where we were about to close down per se, it got to a point where I felt like whoever was going to be the face of the student body definitely needed to be somebody that already had connections in the community because of the goal that Dr. Cynthia Warren had for the college. You know, she's all about partnerships, and I just felt like that I was the best candidate that could reflect that same vision into the community.
Okay, did you have any doubts like during your campaign as well as throughout the school year?
I did. At first, I was kind of nervous because I felt confident, but I was thinking like, okay, I'm not as popular, you know, and things like this can be a popularity contest. So, but I just did my best, and all I said was like, you know, if I'm not voted on, then that's not going to stop me from being a leader on campus. I was a leader before I ran. I was making changes on campus before I ran for president. So I just kept the faith that, you know, no matter what, I was going to still be a leader.
Okay. And how did you go about picking people during your campaign? I know it was said that you had like a lot of people who had 4.0s, like really, you know, really smart, intelligent. So like, how did you go about?
On my campaign team? Oh, what's funny is like I didn't really pick my campaign.
Okay.
My campaign team picked me.
Okay.
I was like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I knew I needed to get some information from different students. Like throughout the year, I was just trying to get a gauge on like what students wanted. I talked to the students like nobody wanted to talk to. I talked to the students that hang out at the gazebo, that, you know, do stuff that some other students might not feel comfortable kind of hanging out with them and talking to them. So because they're paying for tuition just like me, they're here trying to get an education just like me, no matter what. So and I did that. I would sit at the gazebo, went out there with my heels on and, you know, whatever, out there like, hey, what's going on? What do you think? And those ended up being my strongest allies and biggest voices.
Okay, how do you juggle being SGA president? You got your son, you're a Greek, all that. How do you juggle all that?
Learning how to say no. I I did say no a lot last year, but this process really showed me, and mentors on campus really showed me like, okay, there's some things you have to say no to. Because my ultimate goal is to graduate, you know, and to get a job. And I think that I pray a lot. I do pray a lot. I have to pray a lot. I have my Bible plans. I try to stay on just to give me something else to have, something else on my mind to kind of keep me grounded. My son is a big reason why I try my best, because I know he watches me and he watches everybody on this campus. We will have random conversations. Oh yeah, he knows all the buildings. I can say, oh, you need to go to Snedeker, you need to go here, and he knows them already. So I know this is setting him up like I was set up, because I was running around still this campus when I was his age.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in something called the NYC program, National Youth Sports Program, learn how to swim, learn to get all that cool stuff.
I did that with mine.
Yeah, yes, right. So I was just like on campus all the time. So
So you want your son to assist them as well? Or?
I would love for him to.
Okay.
So I don't know what he's gonna do. You know, I'm not gonna pressure him. That's something that I was kind of pressured to do, because okay, it's expected. You're smart. You're supposed to go to college.
Right.
I didn't know, just because I was smart, didn't know that I knew what I was doing when I first came. So
I think we all have that struggle.
yeah. Because
Y'all not
sometimes
gonna
I
lie.
feel like that, like parents, you know, they'll, especially if you're like the first one that has like the first chance to
Yeah,
graduate.
it's all that pressure.
Yeah.
And you swear you know what I once you graduate high school, but you do
No,
not. I
just
promise
because you were smart in high school doesn't mean like you gonna get here, you know exactly how to do it faster. You know, like I didn't do any of that help, no pep talk, nothing.
Right in the school.
You're right. So you know, juggling all of that, you know, main thing, learn how to say no. Always having constant conversations with mentors, people that are older than me, wiser than me. You'll see me talking to somebody older, because I know I can get something from them that when I was younger, I didn't really find important. But then I'm like, these people are where I want to be. They're doctors, you know, they have several degrees.
Right.
So they may, some of them might not have the personality that totally jives with mine, but you've attained something that I want to get. And you have something that I want one day. It's somewhere that I might have to pick through a lot of other stuff to get to it, through conversation and whatever, but you know, just mentors is like a really big thing.
Yeah. So what do you feel like you've done differently than other SJ prisons? I know why you ran, you know, you said you want to see a change in Stillman. So what do you feel like you've done differently, you know?
Differently, I feel like that my goal was to put in place different things that could carry on in perpetuity. So the airport shuttle for the holidays, I feel like, okay, if we're growing as a campus, we need to but we're still like a small family.
Right.
We need to have something like that caters to those students that need it. I knew that was something, it was always in the group meetings, hey, somebody going to Birmingham today? Can somebody drop me off the bus stop? Somebody drop me off the airport? So something that might seem small made a big difference in some students' lives.
Right.
So things like that. In the beginning, like in the summer, we were playing in the game room, planning, you know, moving TVs, like little stuff like moving TVs around from where they were at once, moving furniture around, getting more leadership opportunities on campus where students can mix and mingle with dignitaries. Like, even if it's just a handful, it's usually the same handful of us that are at everything, but it's always the same little, you know, skeleton crew coming through. But I was focusing on, because I'm a non-traditional student and because I'm kind of in that place where I feel like I can kind of connect to generations, I feel like, okay, I want what I wish I had when I was first at Stillman. So that's what I tried to make sure was in place. Like, dang, I wish I had a ride to Walmart. You know, I was always having to catch a ride with somebody. I wish I had a shuttle to get to the airport if I wanted to go out of town for Christmas or Thanksgiving or spring break. And making sure we had student government was truly a student government. We're learning about policy, creating rules, creating things that are like regulations that are going to kind of live on in Stillman. if a student passes away, what do we do?
Right.
Are we not recognizing them? They're still, we're a small enough student body where if somebody passes away, that hits us.
It is hard.
So, and that's something that our previous president, Queen Kelly, showed me. You know, when Caleb Watson passed away, he was going to be out of town, so he said, hey, I need you to present this to the family. And I'm like, oh crap, you know, that was big. And when I saw the work that he put into a proclamation, how much the family appreciated it, and they were surprised by like that. My son in school just came and showed up at the funeral and presented this huge plaque to us. The little things like that carries, because you're in front of hundreds of people that probably never heard of Stillman, or they only heard negative stuff about Stillman, and the fact that this school thought to create something, a memorabilia for my child that has passed away unexpectedly. Little stuff like that, you know, I just feel like, you know, that's classy. You know, bringing classy back to Stillman.
I feel that. You feel that love here at Stillman.
Yeah, home. Right.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, most definitely. So my question for you is, do you feel like that you have accomplished everything that you said that you want to do as this year president?
No. Get through homecoming week.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it, which is all the toll on all of us.
Yeah.
But RoarTV launching out at the same time that homecoming is, I do definitely feel how you feeling that one.
Yeah.
What do you feel like that it is that you want to do before your time to reign or as your president?
I really want to just instill a legacy of students putting SGA on a higher pedestal and setting expectations higher for student leaders, not just letting student leaders get in positions without running uncontested, not having any interest in what's going on. Because if you look at other schools, I met SGA presidents that, you know, they juggle with $500,000 in their budget, you know, like, oh yeah, we do this, we have this, they have iPads, they have free parking. These students, like, they get serious perks, you know, and because they get those serious perks, the students, their constituents are like, no, you are gonna do this for me. Like, you're getting paid a stipend, you're getting these, you get time out of your classes. So I want our students to take it more seriously and really understand like the magnitude of student government association.
Most definitely. So for your years here at Stillman, what is just something that you have seen in the past that you want Stillman to bring back?
This is gonna sound so old fashioned. I really want us to bring back not walking on the grass.
Okay. I
That's
know
a
I'm
big
guilty.
deal.
I'm guilty.
I can honestly agree with you on that. With Stillman being such a big campus, I mean, it's a huge yard, I like to say. But I mean, tradition at HBCU, I mean, since you coming from other HBCUs as well and having the experience, like, you just not supposed to walk on the grass at all. It's just something about that grass. It's just like, it doesn't, like, they used to try to tell us little stories about, you know, stepping on the grass, how to curse you in your years in college. And I swear it felt like, when they told me that, all that stuff felt true, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go home, get myself together, and I'm gonna try another HBCU. So maybe it'll work, and I honestly, since I've been in Stillman, I really don't step on grass. My grades are all A's.
Oh, okay.
Right. I came when I was in high school, and that was like, it was like 2008. I was like a freshman in high school. They was like, not step on the grass. And they was like, I was scared to step on the grass, because they was like, constantly looking like, you know about that grass? It was like, hey, yeah, that was a no-no.
Definitely.
I honestly think that's where the old folks nowadays get that, don't walk on my grass. Just since then, like my granddad, he always said something about not walking on grass too. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that just travels on to life now. How has homecoming changed for you over the years?
It's kind of gone from, of course, we went from the football to basketball. But one thing I have noticed is that we did have that kind of dead period where the students weren't really engaged, and that was kind of because we were in this uncertain spot where, like, okay, I don't even know if we're gonna be open next semester. Like, I'm guilty of it. I remember sitting in my room looking at Alabama State, looking to see if my credits would transfer, and thinking like, oh my goodness, I have an endowed scholarship, and that's not gonna leave. Like, that's not gonna go with me anywhere. You know, that's institutional. So that's when I said, okay, I took it upon myself to make sure Stillman stayed open.
Right.
Even though I know that I can't carry it all on my shoulders, but I did what I could because I said, okay, I'm gonna run for SGA president. We need to be connected to the community.
Most definitely.
And that was like, that's my part I played in keeping the school open.
Right. We appreciate that.
Okay.
Let me
Because
tell
I
you,
was like,
boy,
when I
this
seen here and I read an article that said still was gonna be closed down, and I was like, no, like I don't gave these people my money behind. Like something I have to, I need my money back. Like, I can't say like since I've been here, like it's people like you and Hannah and Kilo, like you know, like you might not agree with a lot of you guys' ways, or you know how y'all go about doing things, but I can't say that it's something about everybody who upper classmen that I have like took from and grabbed it and like, okay, when I get, you know, I want to be like them, I want to do this, I want to do this. I just think it's time to carry out this.
Alright.
I love watching y'all grow. And I was thinking about it, you know, it almost it's right. You're gonna do it the same way. It's gonna be your senior year, and all these freshmen, you're gonna see like how they progress, stuff they go. It's crazy how it happens, and I'm like, dang, you know, just watching like, everybody transform into young men, young women. Dang, you know, that first little semester, I was like, okay, what we got here?
But I understand like how big this is. Like, you know, RoarTV, like this is something different. You know what I'm saying? So bringing this to campus in itself, this is actually a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that y'all invited us.
And we're trying to
I feel a
step
turn coming in still, like we're trying to do something different. Like, just like what Rose said, like she started, so we just trying to.
I think when our base of RoarTV, we all came together. We sat down one day and was just like, okay, this is my first time at another HBCU. You know, it was different. Like everything's different when you go somewhere totally different. Like if you go to one PWI, it might be different than another one. So it's just like, okay, cool. What does this school have that another school has? Or excuse me, what does this school don't have that another school has that we can bring more attention to the media, more attention to Stillman as a whole? Because it's like, all right, my SU has a whole My SU Buzz page, my Grambling or whatever it is, my Southern University. Everybody has something that they can be like, oh, that's Southern. Oh, you know, we can look on Instagram. Like, but it's like when I was like Stillman. What is Stillman? Like when I thought about Stillman, I kept hearing Hillman, like
and I kept getting together. Like I do not attend an all-girls school. I it's Stillman.
It's a branding. It's a brand. We have to brand ourselves. So like what we have to kind of create what we want people to think of as soon as it's Stillman College. Oh, Stillman College. Oh, we're classy. We don't still walk on the grass. We go to chapel. We know how to turn up. We know how to pray together. You know, like. We get you a college that can do both. You know, like like that's what we are.
So off the dome question for you, Miss Rose.
Oh my God.
No, it's nothing bad. Nothing bad at all. I promise you.
No.
But if you are a mentor to somebody, what is like a quote that's always your favorite that you would give somebody to help them through their day?
Oh, get somebody through their day. Don't live for anybody else. Do everything for yourself. Don't think about anybody else. Because you start living for other people, it's like nobody's living for you. Live for yourself.
I think I need to do
Yeah. Live for yourself. Don't, you know, I put on my makeup how I feel like it looks best on me. I do my hair how I feel like. I wear my, you know, and it took a long time for me to do that. You know, I transformed over the years because I used to wear a lot of colors. I was a colorful person. I'm like, I was doing that, you know, trying to be seen. Now I love black. Like I love all black. So do you for you. Yeah.
All right, guys, that was Miss Rose, our SGA president. Bryce! Bryce, what's up, man? What's up, man? Welcome to RoarTV, you know what I'm saying? Alright, we got a couple questions for you as well. Go ahead and introduce everybody.
I'm Bryce Gover. I'm the Director of Student Relations here at Stillman College. Also the Vice President of Student Ambassadors. And appreciate the invite. Let me get comfortable real quick.
No problem, man.
So I got a question for you, Bryce.
What's up?
So like, what made you run for the position of student affairs?
I had no intention of running for SGA president. I mean, not president. You heard it first. But anyways, for SGA period. It started off with Dean Kennedy, with us talking about family. Like, I used to be like, people knew me, but I used to wear sweats every day. I didn't really care, like, to dress for folks. Like, I did what I did. So, like, I wore a do-rag every day around camp. Like, I didn't care at all. She just tried to tell me to take my do-rag. I said no. Anyway.
Well, the do-rag paid off in the long run.
Hey, you can't see it right now. Anyway, but Dean Kennedy grabbed me one day and it was just like, do you get work study or whatever? Because me and him kept talking. He was like, come help me out. So, like, during the break, I'll stay a little longer, help him out in the office. Blah, 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 and I recognize, like, students complain about a whole lot of stuff, but they don't know the backstory to it. Yeah. Dean Kennedy do a lot on his own. Like, he got a handful on him. So it's like, when I noticed that and I noticed, like, some changes need to be made, I was like, all right, while I'm at this work study, let me go ahead and, like, be in a higher position to where I can have a bigger voice with them. So that was my whole, like, initiative of starting to getting me kicked off. So shout out to Dean Kennedy on that one.
That's a good man there. Most definitely.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are some improvements that Stillman has done as far as communication with students, faculty, and staff?
Ooh, communication. I know we hate it, but them bulletin boards is a big thing that helps because it puts a lot of info out there.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of pressure off administration and students on both ends. And I say that because if we put it out on bulletin board 4 or 5 times, I understand that's aggravating, but at least open it, check it out, because eventually it's gonna be something you need. Like, I know some students just leave it read, they see it, they ignore it. At least read the title to see if it's something you might need. I get to that. I read the little description just to see what it is. But that's a big thing. And then a lot of our professors are communicating better through Canvas with the app and all that. And then with us being a tight-knit community around here, I got professors that got my number. See, that's different from other schools. Like, we got professors that really like text us, call us, you missed class, you feel me?
Where you at?
Yeah, exactly. They walk around campus. We don't have a type of campus where we don't see our professors.
Yeah.
They open, so like if you see your professor, even if it's just like, hey, how you doing? Like, talk to them because eventually you're gonna need them.
Yeah.
Thanks.
One thing I was gonna mention about like the professors, I showed one of my professors how to take roll on Canvas, like right there. Cause they were always forgetting to do it later. I'm just like, you can pull your phone up, download the app, and just while you taking roll to all sides of this little piece of paper, just push this little button right here. And they were like, what? I'm like, yeah, little stuff like that. And now they're like, okay, got the little plug, little side plug there, but yeah, the communication has gotten a lot better. So I agree.
But you've been a part of student affairs. How do you feel about the safety in CZ?
The safety, that's actually been something that's brought to the board. Just like because of the locals, it's not really our students. I mean, of course, students are gonna have their issues, but that's been brought to the attention. It's not ignored. We brought that to the board with Campus Evolution itself. That's why they got the new security patrol throughout the night because they didn't have it before. They actually got a company to come in. The security is a little better just to keep a better eye. But that's all a work in progress. I mean, you can't stop all problems at one time, so that's all in the works. But overall, we're gonna be straight over there.
And I know you work with as far as like campus activities and stuff like that. So what can we look forward to for homecoming day? Like, you guys are doing something a little bit different, secret, top notch, that, nobody
I wouldn't say secret or, like I tell everybody, homecoming is really what you make it. Like, we're going to have, it doesn't matter what event we put on as an SGA, as a campus, as alums, as pre-alumni, no matter what we do if people don't show up. And so when we talk about homecoming events, we can have something as simple as like last year, build a tiger. People was like, oh, I'm not gonna show up, but then they saw people like making like
book bags. I want my book bag.
They had the book bags and stuff. Like, it made people like, okay, then that turned into an event that we didn't even notice. So like all like the parties, even if it's on campus, just show your face. Like the step show come out the little stuff you have in the cast, participate. Like, it's just little things that's gonna make the whole homecoming experience different, and then that's gonna transition. Like when younger people come in, they're like, oh, they take pride in it. So then they're gonna start going to everything. And then we won't have that conversation of is dead in here or whatever.
Right. I was just about to say that. With you coming from ASU, like having an experience with things. No, you didn't. Oh, I apologize.
Transfer in.
Oh yeah, Stillman was not my first on the list.
Yeah. I mean, I
came from two major PWIs, a small school, and then Stillman.
Right.
So like the transition was tough because at first I went to South Carolina, big school. So it's like something always to do. Like SGA was like, I never thought I'd be in SGA because SGA was like, you know, up there, like it was stuck up and stuff there. I ain't even lie. Then the next school I went to, it was a smaller school, whatever, but I guess funds was they have more. So it's like, so when I got to Stillman, we're gonna fast forward. When I got to Stillman, I was gotta just sat on the front porch and went in, didn't talk to nobody. You didn't ask anybody with my headphones in, ignoring folks. And I hated it. But then when I get involved and start meeting people, like just start reaching out to folks, like even folks that I have no intention on hanging out with on a regular, like just saying what's up, like lending a hand, whatever, it's gonna make the whole experience worth it. And that's like we saying, like Stillman's a family. Like nobody gonna judge nobody for asking for help. So I mean, like just being like a simple mentor, like you don't gotta be a professor to be a mentor to somebody under you or even somebody older than you. Folks gonna look at you regardless, so it's all about how you go about your day.
I was just gonna say, like, what can we do here still to get students more involved? I know you saying that, you know, it's hard to already get them outside the dorms, outside of, you know, CEV. Like, what can we do here at still?
We got things in the works. All right, with my position, like, a lot of stuff has been underground, like, underneath, just because the process is the ladder to get things approved, like everything I've learned that this whole like year. So therefore, like even if I don't have the position in SJ, I'm still gonna work to make our events this, that, and other. So it's like you gotta be patient. It's all a process because, like Rose was saying, like Shemai said, with RoarTV, when it's new, people don't know what to do. The problem hasn't been brought to the table. So you looking at it like, dang, where we go from here? Like with the game room, the process been so long to take care of that because we gotta go. We don't know the proper procedures to get everything installed, all this stuff ordered. So now that we learning, we can get the ball rolling. So now this semester, when the weather start getting better, we gonna start. I plan on SGA plan on having some things where we can get CV students come on back to campus for a little bit just to hang out. You know, like during the day type things. Like. Even if it's something as simple as like setting up a snack table on the Greek roast and up music. Right. Just little things that's gonna make our campus come out and be like, alright, we cool.
That's what I'm saying. You know, a lot of things, like if you look at a lot of schools, you tend to see a lot of things going on the you know, just a lot of events just randomly popping up. And that's also good, you know, good
it's
ideas
challenging
and stuff like that.
Because of the CV situation, like we're split literally like down the middle.
Yeah, we are.
So like a lot of students that go to class and go back home. But bring that little bit of music, whatever, to Greek roll or whatever in front of the cab, doing whatever for them to spend that split second just to chill with everybody, is gonna make campus feel more at home. Especially when the younger cats are like, oh, it's boring here, but then the older ones are out just chilling. Like we can bring out the table, play space, do whatever that we want to do. As long as we not breaking, you know, school rules and stuff like that.
See, as an SGA, you know, group, is there anything that y'all can change, like within the policy of the schools, or where we don't have to go through so much just to do small events on like the Shepherd's Bar and stuff like that? Like, say for instance, if I wanted to plan, like I wanted to do Wave Check Wednesday during homecoming.
Okay,
that's coming to you guys soon.
Check me out. The thing is, that process isn't much.
Okay.
Like simply, just for all the folks out there that want to do an event too. You don't have to have a full organization to have an event on this campus. Go to Dean Kennedy. Like, before you go to him, go with a mapped out plan. Because if you want to go, I want to do this, he going to look at you like, so what you want to do? Like, people, that's what people mess up. They want to say all this stuff, throw out all these ideas, but never put no action in it. So if you come to me with an idea, we can collab, for real. So like, say RoarTV and SGA want to collab. And we'll have an event on Shepherd's Heart, like you
y'all
said.
soon.
And it's coming. Speaking into it, you getting a lot of sneak.
Hey, y'all
It's like,
Anyway, so like, come. We can map it out. Take it to Dean Kennedy. That's when we get the requisition forms. Once that gets cleared, and then like facility rate, all that. Once we go through the ladder, the professors and the administration want us to do stuff. We just not bringing it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
From Dr. McCormick in Student Affairs, Reverend Gardner, which is our new student, VP of Student Affairs. I mean Academic Affairs is Dr. McCormick. I'm sorry, but they want to see us on the yard. They want to see us do all this. We just have to bring it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we have gotten better though, like as a college,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this, like this year, because
We
last
grown.
year it was okay,
Yeah.
but this year I can honestly
Yeah,
say like it has gotten way better, like
And
way
like
better.
when we bring Coke and all them type of people, we gotta show our face. Like McDonald's was a hit.
Yeah.
And we're trying to
Really? Wow.
we try to make that a hit for future engagement. Like they can come back.
Yeah.
Like if Coke noticed that we out there participating, we throwing ideas to them, they gonna keep bringing events to Stillman because they're like, oh, their students are engaged in this type of stuff,
Yeah.
and that's gonna look good on their part, and it's gonna turn out look good on our part. So we gotta keep going to events. We just gotta push our peers to like just be active on campus.
That's the only thing that I say that we fail at as a student body is that everybody doesn't participate in full things. You know, here and there we have like games that we go to, band, you know, we show up every now and then. Look, you know, speak out, dog. But I'm just, you know, speaking facts. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, hold my tongue on anything. But you know, the band, we come when we come, and then you know, RoarTV, we show up when we show up. But it's just being able to have that full HBCU feel where we really want to feel at home, where we really feel like we can just do anything freely, you know, not anything. I had to put that out.
But that's good we put it down.
You know
We
what I'm
laying
saying?
down a foundation.
Right, so-
Even if we don't, when we leave, we like, it could have been better.
Yeah.
But then we gonna look back, we're gonna come back for a homecoming 2-3 years from now and be like, oh, we started that movement.
Yeah.
And now it's like an ongoing thing. We're like, dang, like we did make the change even though it wasn't in full effect while we was there. You feel me?
Exactly.
That's what we said. About RoarTV,
Yeah, we
like,
want this to continue
we want this
after
to
we're
continue.
gone,
You know,
like-
other journalism majors or just anyone who just, you know.
Exactly.
As I said, we honestly wanted to just, you know, tie everything in with everybody else so we can all just link up. Like, it's a family, like, I mean, I don't know you guys, like, very personally, but when I see on y'all yard, it's like, it's all smiles. Like, every time I see somebody, it's Miss Stillman, you know, I'm going ham. Right? When I see, I'm like, yo, the fit dope. Rose, when I see Rose, it's just like, her smile is just
Yeah,
like,
and business, like,
hey, how you doing? And it's just, I'm on my business, like, she got something to do. And it's like, that's one thing what I realized is still, a lot of people are determined, and there's a lot of people that aren't determined. And it's like, what can we do as RoarTV and your SGA team to make you guys determined to be more involved with us here? And so y'all gotta start commenting on stuff when we put it on Instagram. We ask y'all questions so y'all can respond to us so we can tell them too. So I mean, we all in this, y'all see we in this together. Literally. So it's just like, right, so it's a family, like literally, we wanna make this thing pop to where people can be like, oh, ASU had this, or not Stillman, Southern had this, or Grambling had this. But when they talk, like when people talk about Stillman, we want them to be like, damn, Stillman done put themselves on the map.
Yeah.
Like they on the globe, like YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, Miss Stillman. Woo! Then first, Miss Stillman.
7-1.
How you feel?
Yeah.
How you feel?
I feel good.
That's good. We got a couple questions for you too, ma'am. Who wants to be the
The
first?
best for last, I guess.
Alright.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself and like your role as Miss Stillman.
Okay, well, again, I am Shamaya Mundy, the 71st Miss Stillman College, 2018-2019. And to a lot of people, it's just Miss Stillman just wear a crown and look pretty. But it's bigger than that, you know. And that is actually one of the reasons why I decided to run for Miss Stillman, because I wanted people to see me outside of the crown. I wanted people to be able to relate to who I am. And basically, I served as the official college hostess, and I work collaboratively with SGA, you know, to fulfill the needs of the student body. So it's like, and I preside over the Campus Queen and King Association, and that's where my heart lies, of course. But I ran off a platform, Enhancing Student Life with GLAM, and GLAM, the acronym GLAM stands for Grace, Leadership, Ambition, and Mutuality. And my slogan was exemplifying excellence and intelligence with elegance.
Because like honestly, last semester during the whole Miss Stella campaign, no one knew who you were. And so you put out that video and then the flyers and everybody was like, who is this pretty girl? Like your flyers was like, oh my god, like, and I can't say like you did like really good as far as like putting your stuff out there. And I feel like that's something that a lot of students have to learn as well. It's not about who know you, but if you put your stuff out there, you know,
and as like a marketing, as a business major as a whole, I learned a lot with that. Your personal branding and everything. Like I am a marketing major, so that was big. That was something that I was able to actually put my all in. And I think like the biggest thing with me running for Miss Stillman, it was because people told me that I couldn't. And the problem with us now is that we keep telling people what they can't do instead of letting them see what they can.
Preach it, baby.
Like you said before, like I came out of nowhere. People was like, you know, how did you do this or how did you do that? But it wasn't about how I was coming. It's just because I didn't know I was coming.
Right.
And the thing about it was like running for Miss Stillman. Now the race wasn't easy. You know, I had competition and I had times where I was nervous, but I had faith in God. I prayed. I'm like, God, you know, if this is for me, it's for me. And it goes back to high school. I ran for homecoming queen and I didn't win, and I lost against a cheerleader. And you know that hurt because I was a basketball player, so I guess I was too hard. You know, coming into college and being able to have the opportunity to even run was a blessing because you know if I was to go to a bigger institution, I wouldn't have had that same opportunity. So me being able to run was like big for me. So like actually running and then fast forward to actually winning, that was just like a different level. Like I cried, I was in tears because it was like this is something I wanted. And I could go back to my sophomore year, my first year on Campus Queen. Tyler Davidson came to me like, hey, I need you to be Miss Pre-Alumni Council. And I'm like, what is that? You know, because it's my first year, well, my sophomore year of college, but it'll be my first year on Campus Queen. So, you know, he explained to me what it was and what I would be doing. So being on the court my sophomore year, you know, working under Miss Stillman at the time, I was actually learning a lot of things that you know, I wouldn't have known without being on the court. So, like, learning things and learning what I wanted to change is what actually influenced me to want to run for Miss Stillman College because it's like a lot of things that I complained about that I didn't like, you know, a lot of girls complained about that they didn't like. Then going to second year into the same situation, it was like, well, the only thing we participated in is coordination in that city. Nobody see us, you know, we don't really do much. So I'm like, what can I do? You know, to make this fun. Like we're gonna go the whole year. Like I'm gonna put y'all to work. So like coming in, it was like, okay, we're gonna do community service. We're gonna do events on campus. They gonna see us. So and it was bigger than them just in our face. Like when we come in, I want them to say, oh, that's the Campus Queen. So it got down to our attire. So we're paying, you know, fees for just the dress for coordination. So me and Miss Jean, my heart. We worked together. We was like planning stuff out all summer long. I'm texting her. I know I'm getting on her nerves. Like, okay, I had this idea. Like, I'm going to sleep, waking up. Oh my God, we can do this. So it was just like everything was coming to me at once. So
yeah, that's how RoarTV started. I was texting Step. I was like, we gotta get this BT started. So we was like,
do this right here.
when we come up to school, it was like, gotta pop somebody. Then Step came up here. She was talking about the Andrews. It was hard to get off the ground though. It was just. It started off as just us texting.
A little idea.
Yeah, it was my idea. I texted her, let's get this going.
It's found me.
Right, he came.
And we got everything off the ground. We found a queen and we found a slide. We got another person in here right now.
And the fun part about it is my campaign video came from a dream. Like I was asleep and I was thinking of Fresh Prince. I'm like, I woke up, I was like, oh, that'll be dope. Like I can really do that. So the next day I called one of my friends that she was going to UX at the time. She actually graduated. But I was talking to her. I'm like, look, I need you to really help me out with this. I'm telling her what I want to do. I'm telling her. She was like, girl, I don't know how you came up with this, but we're gonna figure it out. So like actually when she turned that into reality for me, it was just like from then on I knew like, okay, this opportunity I'm gonna give it my all, and at the end the outcome should be
So how is it like working with Miss Jean? Because I know she is former Miss Stillman. Like, you know, how is it working?
Once the queen, always.
Okay.
So it's like I'll call her like, "Hey, Miss Stillman." She'll say, "Hey, Miss Stillman." So it's like I think seeing the transition from the time that she was Miss Stillman up until now, it's like really near to her heart, and it's like something that you're passionate about. Because that crown, it's so hard to just give it up, you know.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I think because we have grown a close relationship, like I've learned so much. So not only because she was Miss Stillman, you know, during her time, but it was just because for her being like woman to woman, she's like molding me into a better person day by day. So it's been a lot of things that she's done that I can really relate to. You know, she has molded me a little bit because sometimes, you know, we tend to get a little out of hand, and I'm silly. So of course she helped me out with that. So.
And so I think like this is a question that everyone at Stillman who was at Coronation would like to know. How did you keep a straight face and a graceful smile throughout the entertainment of the singing? Because everyone was really laughing, and I looked up there, and you was like a smile on your face, and I was like, it could not have been me. So Miss Jean probably would have took me off stage, like, she would have written for film.
Well, it goes back to I actually knew her situation, so you know, someone told me that she had just had surgery. So nobody really knew that, and then everyone kept asking me like, "Is that your?" Because she was still, because she was still in my family, but she's not family. She's not my family. But she did. She had surgery on her voice, and I'm not sure, you know, at what point, you know, before coordination that she had, you know, the surgery or whatever, but they told me she had surgery, so that had a lot to do with it. But thankfully, you know, after she came off stage, Clifton came and graced the stage, so, you know, I was able to keep my composure because I knew the situation, but
And I think like, well, my last question that I have to ask you is, what can we look forward to from Campus Queens and Kings for homecoming? Like, what can we look forward to?
a day for the queen. We're like, you know, we have plans for homecoming, of course, and you know, I think we're trying to do things a bit different because they're so used to the Campus Queens just walking in, but when we walk in, we want y'all to look when we walk in.
Okay.
So I saw the picture from the tea. I was
Now that's real tea. Let's sit.
Right.
So yeah, like it's just the biggest thing is changing the idea of the Campus Queens, because you know, if we present ourselves where people can say like, I want to be a part of that, and that's I've been getting it a lot this year, like what can I do to become a part of that next year, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just basically like, I spent my, you know, my reign building the Campus Queens and Kings Association to the point where when I leave, it's going to be something that everybody wants to be a part of. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I want people to say, well, you know, when Shamaya was Miss Stillman, she did this and she did that. So hey, that's the biggest thing, because I'm not sure if y'all know Shambria Davis. Yeah, when I came, everybody could say when Shambria Davis was Miss Stillman.
They were saying that my first year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my biggest thing was, okay, well, let me either be like Shambria Davis or a little bit better than Shambria Davis. So when I leave, I want to leave that same, like, oh my God, when Shamaya was Miss Stillman, she did this, she did that. So.
Oh wait.
That's good. For y'all being SGA, like SGA and Miss Stillman, with you leaving your footprint, what is something that you want everybody to get?
I would honestly say, don't be afraid to run for a position, or don't be afraid to go after what you want. Because a lot of times people are going to tell you what you can't do and what they don't expect you to do. But I'm a living witness that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Because I can count on my hand and my toes how many times people said like, Shamaya, I did not expect you to come like that during campaign season. But it's not about what you think. It's about what, you know, what I feel like I should do and what I want to do. So whatever you put your mind to and you feel like you want to do it, do it. Like, don't live with any regrets later, like, oh, I wish I would have done this, but just do it. Because if somebody wants to do something, they're going to do it. So you do it.
And I think it has a lot to do with like popularity, and I see that a lot as far as like when everyone was campaigning last year, it was like the people that you know that are well known. You know, more than likely people gonna vote for them. But if we did have someone who ran for SGA president that everybody thought was gonna win, and And you know, it didn't quite happen like that. So I do feel like a change as far as like, especially with this freshman class. I can see like they not, you know, like they not following anybody. Like they on their own, their own mindset, stuff like that. To where I saw like a lot with our class would, you know, whatever we saw, that's what we went along with. You know, whoever someone said, oh, that's, you know, this person, that's what we're gonna vote for and stuff like that. But I can't see like this class, they have them on their own. I like that. So
They do march to the music, their own drums.
yeah.
Alright.
Well, I'm Nick.
Yep.
Alright, so me, it's like, yo, the way people see you does not determine what you can do.
No.
Cause like, I dress the way I want to dress. I wear what I want to wear. I mean, of course, I switch it up to due to situation, but I wear what I want to wear. But when some people see me and I tell them like my position on campus is like director of student relations or VP, student ambassador, they look at me and they're like, hold on, like it's not the image, like the stereotypical thing. So it's like, and then some people are afraid of that. It's like they're afraid of the change of the time or whatever. So I mean, like, don't let, like Shamar said, don't let people's like thought about what you should be your reality. Just do what you want to do. If you feel like you can run for SGA, if you feel like you can go do great things, don't let the way people see you stop you from doing none of that. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. We're kind of all in the same vein. Like, do you, you know? And the advice that I would give is, it would be the same thing. You know, just go out, go for what you want, and because at least go for it, and then you won't be thinking like, dang, I should have done this, I should have done that. You know, because I think about just me like running for SGA president. I knew my limits. I knew, okay, this is what I'm not that good at. I'm not that popular. I'm not a partier. I'm totally different from any other SGA president we've had. So how can I still be myself? Because I was like, I'm not just gonna turn into another. I'm not gonna not be myself. So how can I still let students know, okay, that I'm not uptight, you know, and that I'm, you know, I'm fun. They know I can say some crazy stuff. I say some crazy stuff, and it's just like, oh, you know, that's like my little refresher, because I have to be in such a tight, confined space most places I go. If I'm representing, like, oh, you know, God, I can't say anything. Oh, I want to say something so bad. Like, you know, if you get, you know, like, it's like that's always because anything that's worth fighting for is not going to be easy.
Most definitely.
And so being somebody like in a leadership position, if you're not prepared for people to come for you, don't do it.
Yeah.
And you have to do it in such a way where it's like you have to care, but you don't have to care what they say. Because you have to like take away, okay, how they said it, okay, whatever. They were yelling, people yell. Okay, what were you saying? Okay, get to the core of that. Don't be afraid, because people are going to come for you. People come for me. I get, so like my phone, I have to put it on Do Not Disturb.
Right.
I get tired of the group meetings. I'm in at least, the last time I counted, I'm in 48 group meetings.
Oh, Lord.
And they're all active. Like, I don't have any like dead group meetings. You know, I serve as an international officer for my sorority. I serve as a officer in the chapter of my sorority. I'm also a UNCF fellow. I'm a mother. I'm just SGA president. Like, so I have several things coming. I have after I leave here, I go in a career closet, sort the career closet out. You know, like, so it's not gonna be easy. And you have to let people, they're gonna say what they want to say, because if you put yourself out there, you gotta be ready to take some hits. And you can't let it back you down, because I'm like, if I let what somebody says hurt me, like, I'm never gonna make it in life.
Yeah.
And I have to take it, like, know where I am, and know, like, there's like a saying that you have to know the difference between like a giraffe and a chicken. Like, I'm a giraffe, and you know, like, it's like we got two different perspectives, you know. you know, I'm a giraffe. I'm looking in a totally different direction than this person is.
Right.
So for me to get upset, we're on 2 different levels.
Right.
So I can't even be mad at you. Like, I'm not even gonna let it get me upset because there is no way that we're gonna be on the same level.
Right.
And I'm not gonna let that pull me down, change who I am. And it took me a while to learn. You know, it took me going through crap, going through hell to, like, I can't be worried about people.
Because one thing I can say about you is that you see a lot of people who run for titles and they change. And when I say like they change, they don't necessarily change in a good way. Like they change, like there was one time to see you, now when you see them, they walk right past you like they don't know who you are. And one thing one thing that I can say about you is that you never want. To me, you never want to change. You know, if I see you in the cow, if I see you at Walmart, it's still the same road. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing different.
But with that, a lot of times people change when they're in a higher positions because they didn't know who they were before.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Yeah. So like if you're not, you know, secure within yourself, when you get that title and you get that extra, you know, popularity, it's like, okay, now you take charge. You don't feel it. You know,
people search for those titles not knowing those titles don't do nothing but bring work. Like they bring twice as much work. Like everybody wants to be on the pedestal. Everybody wants to be up here above everybody. But then when that stack of papers get in front of you, you gotta go through everything. It's like they want to shy away from it. No, don't take your tail now. You wanted it, so take it. So that just comes, like she was saying, with insecurities and everything. Like,
so when real people talk, if you don't know who you are for yourself, don't try to set yourself out for failure. Like that's just you putting yourself on a pedestal where you know you can't handle it. Like that's just like me coming out as a barber here at Stillman. If I didn't know how my work would, turn out, I won't even put myself out there. That's a scary sight. I swear.
Yeah.
I mean, standing over there, with you being like a black business owner, you already know people, love to not support black businesses, and it's hard out here for people who are trying to use that to eat, for people who are trying to use that to pay for school. Trust me, it's hard. Like, I don't have a scholarship right now. I'm working on it. But I mean, it's still me trying to do things like being a barber, like an artist, to like make a living. And with me having to know who I am for myself in order to be able to use my talents and bless somebody else's head. That's why I call myself Sauce by Lico. It's because I'm dropping the sauce that I feel like I've embellished in myself to learn how to do. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to know who I am for myself before I ever put my hands or my voice in anybody else's ear. Because not just standing there cutting somebody's hair is just, cutting somebody's hair. You're actually having a conversation, a real life conversation with another person that you either might know, might not know, never might see again. It's just like, I love to bless somebody through my cuts. Like, if you see your haircut and be like, damn, this dude really, touched my head.
Well, ladies,
and at the same time,
your barber can be your best friend.
Exactly.
I'm cool with my barber. We have a personal relationship because I don't want him to cut my hair.
Right. And not even with just that. It's just like me knowing how, where I've come from, the struggle that I've been through, not knowing everybody else's background. When I'm cutting hairs, I like to, ask, hey, you had this haircut for me. What is it in you that makes you want to get this haircut again? Or what is it in you that wants you, to change your hairstyle or whatever it is? Like, what do you see that's going to give you a better outlook on who you are as a person from your head, start from head to toe, whatever. Because, every day I'm not always on, top tier because I got a lot of hair on my head. Don't like taking care of it. But it is what it is. I mean, just, advice to Stillman, just know who you are. Like,
Know thyself.
Like, be true to thyself. Like, that's in the Bible. Like, be true to yourself before you be true to anybody else and God alone. So, on
this Stillman.
Right, it is.
And I always remember.
All that Chanula coming out.
Everybody will be
I ain't take Chanula yet. This grandma talking out of me, you know what I'm saying? But just in general, just Stillman, be you. It's nothing better than being you for who you are. Like, a lot of people see me and I'm like, okay, this nigga really got 2 pigtails in his head. Like, why? I'm being myself. I got holes in my ears. I'm being myself. Literally, people be like, what made you get engaged and stuff like that? I lost all my earrings. Like, I can never keep up with them. So I just decided to put a hole in my ear where I feel like my gauges will stay. So it's just like, not even just that, it's just I also seen that, I didn't like something about myself that I thought that I was going to change through jewelry. And I was just like, nah, But at the same time, it makes me who I am. You know what I'm saying? The different color hair, me having gauges, I'm like probably the only person on campus with gauges. So it's just like, I'm that person that you can be like, yeah, that's who this is. You know, he's set apart from somebody else. I don't want somebody to be like, oh, he's just like a basic Atlanta person or a basic Southern person.
That's a good
You know
thing
what I'm
to
saying?
know, because
Yeah, it's
like
still diverse.
we walk around and like some of us be thinking the same thing, but I got an insider with you. I got an insider with Moses. I know how you gonna come. I know how you gonna dress on certain days. It's not like it's putting people out, but it's like taking the flaws and everything from our community and what we're around. We just all embrace it. And like nobody really points fingers. I mean, of course we got the haters out there.
Right.
They can stay where they at. Right. But for the most part, we all know what each other coming with. So it's like, it's not like a why he doing that. It's like, oh, that's just him. That's still my people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, when I first decided to come, like, to HBCU and all that stuff, I had, like, a lot of people saying, like, why would you go there? Well, you know, you've been around black people your whole life. But one thing I can say is that literally everybody who are my friends, who I'm close with, everybody is different. Yes, we all are black, but everybody is different. Their mindset is different. The way they go about doing things is different. You should learn.
Yes, it is diversity at the HBCU. It is.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing before we get ready to close out though. It's still it's still Black History Month, but don't think about it as being Black History Month. We're black 24/7, 365. How many hours in a day? 24 plus 52 hours in a week, 52 weeks in a year. I just want y'all to realize this skin color ain't going nowhere. God bless us with this skin color to be rich, to be poor, to be sick, to be wealthy. I mean, but the thing about it is, with us being a tight-knit community that we say, that we say we are, all these things that we post on social media about Dr. King bringing us together, the segregation, the desegregation and stuff like that, we have to live up to these things. I mean, a lot of times we say this and repeat this back and forth, and nobody ever does anything, but still, man, I promise you, this ain't finna be that type of situation no more. Like, we finna actually start putting words into action. It's like, it's no more talking about things no more. Like, us being black, we have to move forward in the community. And if we don't move forward in the community together and, mend our thoughts and, like, it's so many ideas in this one room that we can all put on one table that can make Stillman 30 times better. And it's just like, if we're not here to do that for each other in the community, what are we going to do in the world? And we're still talking about let's get Trump out of office. Let's do this for, let's get this white person, this, that, and the other. No offense to any, Caucasian person that tuning into us. Nothing like that. But seriously, with us being black, in a black community, we have to stand together. And if we don't stand together, we fail. We will fall. United we stand, we will fall if we don't, stay united. Like, literally, like, we gotta get it together still. It's a new generation. We're not millennials anymore. We're not our parents. It's time to start a whole new wave of things, a whole new motion. We gotta start thinking different. We gotta start thinking positive. We can't have all this negativity going on in life. We can't we can't keep putting people down. Can't keep putting people up under the dirt. There's a lot of times that people have situations that's going on in their life, and without you saying, hey, how you doing? That means a lot. It means a lot to, like, literally an ant on the ground. Like, literally, I see an ant and be like, oh, there's an ant. I swear to God, I have ADHD to the point where it's just little things that I do in the daily lifetime. People are like, oh, he's weird, but I love him. It's because I keep positive things going in my head. Like, God is real. Like, God is so real. And that's one thing that we can also say that we fall short of. We don't have God in a lot of things that we want to do for a black community. Still, before I keep preaching, get y'all itch together. Like, literally, that's all I can say. Like, I can't, there's more videos to come, and I'm still going to do the same thing. Y'all, look, somebody else say so. But I
think RoarTV would just like to thank you guys for, taking time out of your busy schedules and, to come and chat with us and stuff like that. We really appreciate it.
Any questions for RoarTV?
When's the next episode?
Coming to you guys soon. Alright, but yeah, we do want to thank our SGA team for coming in, stopping with us, talking to us, giving us these great advice. I want all y'all to not just listen to these videos and listen to the shade that's being thrown, but I want y'all to take but I really want y'all to take the realness that we come with these videos and actually apply it to your real life. I mean, you hear this from your parents, you hear this from everybody else, but We're your students. We're your brother. We're the same age, brothers and sisters, excuse me, and we're the same age that y'all are. So this is us talking to us. Like, come on now, get it together. But anyway, R.O.
Hey,
We signing out, guys.
My bitch good